Hello, everyone. Good day. So we are going to continue our discussion for Chapter 4, Organization Change and Innovation. So this is still under Chapter 4. So as continuation, we'll be talking about how what are the changes in the organization and the innovations that are available or are in an organization. So the objectives, we'll be talking about the nature of change of the organization. So because you already know change is constant, what are those changes kaya nga available? So how do you manage employee fear and given that most organizations nagwinasday time na magbago need yun taong development probably for a better change or for a bad change. So it depends upon the situation. So we have organizational development, promoting innovation with organization. We'll be talking about this topic next slide. The objectives at the end of the term, the students must have the nature of change in organization, the threat of change. How do we manage employee fear and resistance? The organization development, what is it and what it can do, and promoting innovation within the organization. So I'll be opening up this lecture with this quote. Change is hard because people overestimate the value of what they have and underestimate the value of what they may gain by giving up. Unang nakalisod ka, sometimes imo gina-overestimate po. Sometimes you are too comfortable with your comfort zone to the point nga dili nimo gina look forward ang effort you have in um in terms of sacrificing something. Because when you want change, when you want development or progress, you need to sacrifice a couple of things to gain a couple more. Okay? So if possible, don't overestimate and don't underestimate what the value sa imuhang i-sacrifice and what you may gain in the future. Sure, in organization, so what is the nature of change kaya sa ikakampanya? So we have two types, reactive and proactive change. So for reactive change, it means responding to unanticipated problems and opportunities, putting out fires. Okay, putting out fires. They are talking about reactive change, making changes in response to problems or opportunities that arise. They arise. So it means na you are going to um react ano ba tawag mo react ka diretso to problems nga wala kakabantay. So unanticipated, murag out of the blue or unexpected things. So you tend to respond or react diretso with that. So given this type of change, you are more likely to respond to problems and opportunities because when it comes to sudden changes, it is always about problems nga mo arise kalit or opportunities nga mo arise kalit. With that, wala yun kabantay or wala mo na forecast ahead. What are these? So there is a reactive change ang mahitap. While for proactive change, okay, this change is where you need to manage anticipated problems and opportunities. Okay, there is proactive change or planned change involves making carefully thought out changes in anticipation of possible or no, sorry, or of possible or expected problems or opportunities. So proactive change is where you tend to anticipate. Example na nakikita. Okay, amo ning atong himuon if we have plan A, plan B, plan C. If ani dili madayon ang James 9. So mag-change ta og venue or mag-change ta og date, something like that. So you already anticipated what are the following problems and you all you need to do is more proactive. Okay. Because you already anticipated the summer. It is required for the company na change. I mean, the difference between reactive and proactive change is that reactive change, wala kay choice kundi himuon ni because napugos ka sa outside forces sa company. Let's say, for example, problems nga ni arise na diretso na wala ka ka-anticipate. Okay? Like, hala, need data mag-change kay kailangan kay wata ka bantay nga na inflation. Change ta og price ato ang baligya. Well, proactive change is you already know or anticipated nga hala kuan murag after how many years need gyud ta nga magpataas atong price para makagain gyud ta og much profit. So proactive regardless if na inflation or not, you already anticipated nga magpataas yun ka og price after how many years. Okay, so that's the difference between reactive change. Again, reactive, mura kag na hugos to make a change, while proactive, it is desires imong company nga mag-change based on your plan yun, regardless of outside forces. So we have the forces for change. So these are outside and inside the organization. So forces originating outside the organization, these are external forces. So these consist of these four types. So we'll be talking about outside forces sa organization. So these could be demographic characteristics, market changes, technological advancement, and social and political pressure. Okay, pasensya because this mentions something. So, okay, pwede din siya mabansin. So these are these at least four types of outside forces. So the first one, we have demographic. Ganong outside forces. Okay, these are things that outside the organization itself. So these are composed of the workforce that is now more diversified, and the organizations need to effectively manage this diversity. So the people nga imong i-hire, they come different places, skills, abilities, education, ages, and so on and so forth. So with that, um, this means na your company will be very diversified, okay? Especially if mag-take a hire of anyone, especially if capable of doing the job. So these might give this might cause a change in your organization. Probably it's organizational culture mag-change because of unsa na pud nga mga cultures or belief ang manggawas coming from these people. Next is market changes. So these are global economy. The global economy is forcing companies to change the way they do business. So market changes also affect company, our company, our organization. Example, so there is the global nga crisis. There is inflation due to again the war versus Ukraine and Russia. So with that war, it caused inflation all over the world. So with that, companies are nag-struggle. So, struggle atong mga economy, atong mga companies the um due to that war, due to inflation, global nga inflation. So that market has already changed. So you need to also adjust imong company or organization. Probably ikaw po, di pud ka papildi, mo taas pud imong price. Kaya mahal man pud ang mga prices of your output ay input ni mahal man po siya. So all you need to do is to adjust accordingly with the change in the market para magstay gapon ka sa market. You are still uh, competitive in that certain market. Next would be technological advancement. So these are information regarding technology. So they may be one of the greatest forces for productivity in our lifetime. But in but it also creates headache. So technological advancement is another thing to consider given that technology nowadays is very accessible to anyone. Anyone can use technology as they want to. So companies have these great option as long as sometimes free pa siya, open pa siya for everyone. Company can really take advantage of this. So it can increase the productivity. At the same time, it has some downfalls. Given nga medyo costly pud diha mag-take ka og pa-advance sa imong technology. Pati kag bayo newest, latest machine, latest mga computer, and so on and so forth. Medyo heavy po siya but still it will give you efficiency and effectivity in your productivity or out. Well, next would be social and political pressures. Social events can create great. So sometimes these forces also affect you. Let's say, for example, katong sa um, latest nga election, as you already know, di ba, there is social and political pressure. So, nag-red o pink, nag-color-color ng everyone. Red, pink, blue, green, ng mga colors, di ba, ang everyone. So, let's say, for example, you are a cafe, ay mushroom cafe. So, sa imong mushroom cafe, karon nga nag-trend man to no, kabantay mo ana nga even establishment are voicing out their support to certain candidates. Let's say, for example, you you um you choose to present color violet. Let's say, for example, na si Mr. ay si Miss Mr. or Miss President. Yang color is violet. Kaya nag-color-color na ba? Oh. So let's say for example, color violet daw ka. So imong gisuportahan si Violet. Then ang in the end kay gibash ka sa mga haters siguro or sa mga supporters other colors. Gibash ka ni color um orange. Oh, let's say example na lang, gibash ka ni color orange. Yung anong nag-violet man mo, dapat mo support mo kay orange na nag-away-away na. Di nadamay imong establishment. There's a high possibility nga imong establishment kay kuan kay nag-voice out man ka sa imong support. Siya, I'm going to support color violet. So with that, nag-voice out ka sa imong support, daghan na din ang mga people nga dili mag kuan patronize sa imong mga product given nga ila din gisuportaan kay si Orange. At the same time, probably it still has positive effects kay masuportaan ka sa mga say ka-same nimo ang color, violet. So social and political pressures also affect your organization. So again, you really need to consider these things because these forces might affect the organizational change. So demographic, the changes in the market, advancement, and social and political pressures in your economy or in your country. So these are some examples of forces for change outside and inside the organization. So these forces causes again change. So we have demographic characteristics. It could be age, education, skill, gender, and immigration. So these are the things you need to consider. Probably in company mag-change mo og culture because of the gender of the people in your organization or the age, so on and so forth. Next would be the market changes. So probably na mergers and acquisitions, nag-uban-uban na, nag na grupo-grupo na ang imong ang uban nga mga company to overcome your company. So competition is okay, this could be mergers and acquisitions, domestic and international competition, and even recession itself. So these are the things that we need to consider when it comes to changes that may affect our organization. Next would be technological advancement. It could be manufacturing automation and office automation. Whether imong i-upgrade imong old nga company nga written pa tanan or paper pa inyong gina-use, but nag-buy ka og mga updated nga mga computers para mas ma-easier ang work. Manufacturing automation, again, para mas paspas, mas madali ang pagkuan ninyo, ang inyong trabaho. Next would be social and political pressures. It could be through leadership and values based on the uh, probably the leaders aim gonna support and the values that they have because it always supports it always shows the values of your companies too. Well, for inside forces, it could be employee problems and managers' behavior. So these could be unmet needs, job dissatisfaction, absenteeism and turnover, productivity, participation, and suggestions for employee problems. The usual nga mga problems nga ma-encounter in an organization. Next is managers' behavior. So these could be conflict, leadership, reward systems, and structure of the organization. So these things usually affect our companies and force not just force yeah sometimes it forces the company to change, okay, change its ways based on these na mga things. So for it is for inside forces inside the organization. So these are internal forces. So they affect the organization. Maybe some subtle such as low job satisfaction or more dramatic such as constant labor management. So these has two types. It could be employee problems or managers' behavior. So for employee problems, these are the gaps between job dissatisfaction as expressed through high absenteeism and turnover and can make your signal of need for change. So problems mostly again employee problems are one of the core for change UC organization. Hala, dissatisfied dahil sila. Probably, need na ko i-change ang management, need na ko i-change ang reward system, need na ko need ibang change according um, sa ilahang response, let's say, survey. regarding ilahang satisfaction. So with that, again, that is a signal or with the data nga inyong na-collect, pag-check mo hala, gamay ra lagi ng dissatisfaction. Probably I need to change my approach again para maangay po sa ilaha and mag-stay sila longer sa company. So organizations may respond by addressing job design, reducing employer role conflict, and dealing with workload or work overload. Come out of I mentioned a few methods. So this could be ang job design. So medyo dili di ay siguruhan ay ang imuhang pag-design sa job medyo kulang o nasubraan na pod ang imuhang task na githatag sa ilaha. Ang role is not klaro. Say for example, anyone can order anyone around. So you need to set boundaries, you need to clarify the hierarchy of the organization, to deal with work overload. Always kanapit ang consider the employee's feelings too. Or i-check kung talagang tama ng iyahang capacity kaya with to their job. Next would be the manager's behavior. Another thing to consider because managers play a big part when it comes to the inside of the organization. If dili maayo mo dala si manager, there's a high possibility nga the employee would resist. They tend to resist. So most of the time, like your personality conflict because we have different managers, types of managers. It could be autocratic, you could be democratic, and so on and so forth, depending on what style you as a manager would use. So employee transfer may be needed or interpersonal training is required. So it depends. Probably the problem is again the manager's behavior. So you probably need to be transferred or you need to train again regarding your personality or the way you handle your employees. So these could be the things na need mo i-consider. Again, ilang needs nga wala na reach, job dissatisfaction, sige absent, sige resign, ilang productivity, and participation or suggestion. Dili day siguro kay sila ka participate kasi just ka approach sa ilahang kuan managers because kay mahadlo. Another example. Next would be managers' behavior. So this could be conflict, leadership and reward system, and structural reorganization. So ang leadership ni manager, ang iyahang mga rewards nga ginahatag, is it compensating or not? So let's continue. So there are also areas in which changes is needed. So dapat ay areas na need i-consider. Given nga kabalo na ta mo din yung mga things na usually maka-cause of change sa organization. So we have two types. It could be outside or it could be inside the organization. So next would be what are the areas in which change is needed. So change then involve any the organization. However, there are four areas in which change is most apt to be needed. So we consider these are people, technology, structure, and strategy. In always have people with the start. So even in two-person organization, people changes may be required. So the changes may take the following form. So in some parts or some things, when it comes to changing people, we have at least the following things to consider. We have at least the perception, the attitude, the performance, or the skill. So nara yun na sa ilang mostly need to change. So for perception, employee might feel they are underpaid for what they do. For what they do. Managers might be able to show that pay and benefits are comparable or superior to those offered by competitors. So, perception is that ilag yung paminaw nga underpaid sila or dili they worth ang ilang kahago sa ilahang trabaho. So, what will you do? You as a manager, you need to pakita yun nga mas dako yun may gina-offer nga compensation compared sa others. So, with that, mo yun na imuhang need mo. So, you need a change in perception nga dili oy worth it man mo. Gina-compensate man mo ayo. I want you all to appreciate how the company rewards you, okay? Ilang point of view in life or point of view sila sa mga. Then next would be the attitude. So in old line manufacturing industries, employee may feel that it is the nature of things that they should be in an adversarial relationship with their managers. So you need to change their attitudes too. because these attitudes might cause problems in the long run. So if possible, try to control their attitudes or the way they behave in the organization. Para po again, malesen ang conflict, malesen ang misunderstanding, and attitude, especially towards work. Okay, work it should be as easy as place in lahat. So you need to really find a way to make them comfortable sa ilang trabaho, to make them satisfied in their job, so they can have a better attitude in the workplace. Next would be the performance. So it is often a major challenge and incentives to improve people's performance. Another thing to consider, you need to really, as a manager, can bitaw imigin silang pangitaan of way to motivate them, to make them be productive, to enhance their performance. So it could be probably through training, probably through giving incentives, okay, mga rewards na mas mapaboost sa ilang performance para mas maganahan sila og trabaho. Next would be skills. So altering or improving skill levels is often an ongoing challenge, particularly these days. When new forms of technology can organizations, um, change an organization finds a way of doing business. Okay. So skills is also an ongoing change because people tend to kuan kana bitong dili na kanila i-enhance sometimes ilang skills. So what will you do? You need to offer opportunities para ma-enhance ilang skills. So that could be through training, mag-offer ka training, mga seminars, webinars nga mas mapa-develop ang ilahang skills or mga inherent skills and abilities sa company itself. Try to challenge them more. So these are some of the things you need to change when it comes to people. It can be based on their perception, their attitudes, their performance, or their skills. So next would be changing technology. So technology is a major area of change for many organizations. Technology is not just computer technology. It is any machine or process that enables an organization to gain a competitive advantage in changing materials used to produce a finished product. So in your organization, let's say for example, kung school ka, hindi mo pag mag-use pa ka og kalaha, kalayo, so what will you do? You need to adjust para mas madaghan ang imong pag-produce, nag-buy ka og mushroom chicharon maker. Para siya oven type na paspas kay pag-timo. Mas makasave kang time, mas makaproduce ka og daghan. So it enables you to have a competitive advantage. You can deliver pila pa na ka thousand of mushroom chicharon anytime, anywhere. So that is changing the technology para again makaapas ka sa competition. Dili ka ma-behind. So that would be changing technology. So that will give you a competitive advantage among your competitors. Next would be changing structure. So when one organization acquires another, command structure often changes, perhaps from a divisional structure to a matrix structure. So sometimes, let's say for example, nag-expand imong company, nagpalit ka og another, nag-purchase ka og another company. Di mo dayon silang uban, gitipok. Ang mahitabo, mag-change ang whole structure. Okay? So let's say for example, kuan ka ka 7-Eleven. So ikaw, 7-Eleven, imong gipalit let's say, Champs, or convenience store, Champs. So gipalit ni 7-Eleven si Champs, iya siyang gi-change og another 7-Eleven para mo expand nga branch. So nag-acquire ka, acquisition ang tawag ana. So imong gi-acquire si Champs, then turn Champs into a brand new 7-Eleven nga branch. So what will happen? So the organizational structure will be changed. Mahimo nga si Champs kay I see 7-Eleven nga bag-o mahimo siya og branch. So assign na pud kag another hierarchy dadto na si branch manager, then mag-hire pud ka og crew members there. So the structure would be changed. Mo-expand mo pud ako or mo gamay. It depends on the situation. Next would be the strategy. So these shifts in the marketplaces often may lead organizations that you have to change their strategy. Let's say, for example, some change in the market. So na ay inflation na hitabo, what will happen? You need to change your strategy. Instead of magpa-walk-in ka sa imong um, magpa-walk-in ra ka sa imuhang cafe, mushroom cafe, nag-offer pud ka og online. Okay, nag-go ka into Food Panda or nag-offer ka og online nga order, free delivery of iced coffee or something like that. So you need to change your strategy based on the situation. So I guess that's it. I'll be ending my lecture here. So I'll continue my lecture in the next video. Thank you everyone and goodbye. So hopefully um learn more, and if you have questions, please feel free to message me. Again, so we have two types, just a summary. So synthesis of what we learned for today, there are two types of change, whether it's reactive, wala ka nag-anticipate, mapugos ka og change, or proactive, nag-anticipate ka, and you really gonna become desired to do this change regardless of outside force. So natin forces, outside and inside. Outside is more on the outside the organization ng mga change na maka-apekto sa imuhang company. While inside forces is within sa imong company mismo ang change mahitabo. So next would be the areas. It is always focused on the people, the technology and the structure and even the strategy. That's it. We'll continue the next topic in the next video. Thank you everyone.